Hi, my name is Howard, and I'm an electric vehicle owner and an early adopter that lives here in the Southeast Florida region. I am not in Miami, I am in the Fort Lauderdale or Broward County area. So I've decided to add my voice as an owner that is happy with his electric vehicle to the growing noise or anti-EV FUD, you would call it, that is out there right now, that has increased significantly. I've been driving electric vehicles. I've been driving electric vehicles now for roughly about from 2013, and my experience with owning the vehicles have not always been good, but it has been better than owning a gasoline vehicle, and that's for me, right? I will admit to many people out there that if the use case scenarios that you have on a daily basis doesn't fit the need of an electric vehicle, then don't buy the car. No, nobody's not going to force you to buy the car, right? There are people that like to save money. There are people that genuinely like to save the environment, and then an electric vehicle gives you that option. Now, the the truth is that many people in the social media space that own electric vehicles basically keep to themselves and are happy with their vehicles and don't really come out and tell people how good the vehicles are for their use cases, right? And the negative press out there will dominate. So, as an owner that is happy with his vehicles, because I've gone from a vehicle that was only 100 miles in driving range to now a vehicle that has well over 300 miles of driving range. Right? I don't put down my foot all of the time, but my efficiency rating in driving my Tesla is very good. Now, my Tesla is not the only electric vehicle that I own. I have a 2023 Chevy Bolt EUV. I have a 2021 Volkswagen ID4. And both vehicles get over 250 miles of driving range. And I don't put down my foot in either one of these vehicles because the commute that I do doesn't require me to be traveling highway distances in a long period of time. So as an owner, I am happy, and I'm going to lend my voice to the growing owners that will need to come out and basically tell the world that, hey, it's not that bad. Can I just get up on a whim and drive to California in one shot? No, I can't do that. But I will need to plan my route in order to make a long distance journey like that viable for me. Now, I am not one of those persons that is going to tell you that I'm going to sit down in a car for 4+ hours to drive, go to somewhere. I would prefer to fly. So the long distance driving or the point of driving long distances consistently is it's not for me anyway, right? Because I travel to Orlando and Tampa. I'm probably like once a year, and then most of my driving is within a city environment between Broward County, Miami-Dade, and sometimes West Palm Beach, and I will average about 175 miles a day in driving sometimes, but I'm always within 10 miles of a charging station with how the infrastructure has now been built out. The As it relates to charging your vehicle, charging my vehicle, I normally charge roughly about 80 to 90% of the time at home because I have a home charging unit, and that home charging unit itself didn't cost me an arm and a leg to put in, so it was roughly about $1,100 to have the wires run from my box to the outside plug, and it has done me well. Now, if you put it inside of the garage, your cost can be cheaper, right? So there are two things to look at. If you're looking at the installation cost, you need to have an understanding or get an electrician to look at your house to see if if the wiring in your house needs to be upgraded for you to actually support level 2 charging at home, right? Now, in some instances, yes, it is possible. But if your house is old and has never had an electrical update, then you're going to run into a problem, and then you're going to spend an arm and a leg in order to to upgrade your wiring system to support the high voltage charging needed for the car at home. Now, a lot of people will say that, oh, you live inside of a house, so you have the benefit. And yes, I live inside of a house. I own a house. Many people want to own a house. And for me, that advantage itself is very good. If you don't own a house, stick to a gas car. If you live in an apartment complex that doesn't support electric vehicles, stick to a gas car. If you have a townhouse and you have the ability to put a charging station in the front of your townhouse, and if you have a dedicated spot, go for gold. But if you don't have it, don't buy the electric vehicle. If it can't meet your needs, or you don't have the ability to charge at an infrastructure near you, then don't buy the car. It's really that simple. Nobody's forcing it on you. But the incentive that was given out allowed me to purchase my first vehicle without any problem. All right? And it allowed me to purchase a second-hand vehicle for my kids, all right, and make it more affordable for me. Now, how somebody will consider what somebody would define as affordable, that's on them, right? Some of these vehicles brand new are very expensive, and if you don't have the money to do it, don't buy it. And that's the reality of it. Don't buy it, right? Stay within your means. Now, if you have the ability to purchase the vehicle itself and it meets your need, then like myself and many other owners, you're going to find that the vehicle itself is very good. It reduces your cost expenditure, right? Because here in the Southeast Florida region, I am under the FPL. I'm on the FPL itself. And for me, my charging rate is roughly about 14 cents per kilowatt. So to fully charge my Tesla behind me, it's going to cost me roughly about $10.78 to get roughly about 310 mile of driving range. And that's more than enough for me. And I don't even use the full capabilities of my car. So I set my car to anywhere between 80 to 90%. And then my charging cost goes down well below $9. Right? And for that $9, I can basically cover on average greater than 270, 280 miles a day in driving. And I really don't even use that much because I'm in a city environment, and 9 times out of 10, if I drive anywhere, I'm going to stop. It's not a consistency. The battery doesn't drain while the car is sitting. And yes, I do know that there are functions that in a Tesla you can set that drains the battery. But day-to-day use, it more than covers my need. So even if you're driving every single day in a city environment, you're spending less than $10 a day to drive. So for your whole week's worth of driving, you're going to spend less than what, $70 bucks, $80. And if you're doing that in a regular gasoline car to, let's say, drive every single day, their chances are you're going to spend on average for that whole week worth of driving. If you consistently do over 200 miles of driving a day, you're going to spend on average close to almost $180 to $200 just that week of driving. So if you're an Uber driver, it sucks to be you because gas prices are high, and you're going to get stuck. If you're not making enough money to cover your gas bill, then hey, I would tell you try an electric vehicle. It would make more sense. Right? I'm going to basically give a rundown, an honest rundown of how owning this vehicle has been for me over the last couple of years, because this is a 2022 model year, and I've now put roughly about 128,000 miles on it. It will turn 3 in about March. So for my use case scenario, it has saved me a lot. So I've calculated from the time that I've gotten it to hitting roughly about 128,000 miles, I've probably saved in comparison to, let's say, about $3.89 of fuel costs, I probably save over $70,000 in driving fuel costs. And my maintenance costs, I'm still on my original brake pads. I've changed tires, which is a norm. You can't really get away from the tires. I buy EV-rated tires for all of my vehicles, and so I get good life or wear from my tires. So it's not. It doesn't kill your tires. Right? Now, if you drive like a bat out of hell, hey, that's on you. It kill your tires. In relation to anything that I've come across, it has been really good for me. So I don't have a negative. Will I buy a next one? In a heartbeat. Will I be getting a new one? Yes, I'm definitely going to get a new one. Right? Will I ever go back to a gasoline vehicle? Not a chance in hell. But for me, it has been a very good journey with the cars. And I'm basically going to start my story and showing people that, yes, electric vehicles are viable depending on your use case. And it's not the end of the world because nobody is forcing you. What many people are asking for is more efficiency from regular vehicles, more reduction in pollution coming from regular vehicles. Now, you have other technologies out there like hydrogen fuel cell technology that have the ability to meet people's requirements in relation to daily commuting, refueling faster. But the reality about it is that hydrogen vehicles don't have the infrastructure like electric vehicles in the beginning, like gasoline vehicles in the beginning, right? The infrastructure is not there to support hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. So here in Florida, we don't have hydrogen vehicles. I wish we did, but in California, when the infrastructure is up and running, people use them. It's a viable option. I know that there are instances in California where the stations don't work half the time, but if the right technology now shows up or the right individual invests in the infrastructure outside of government or major large companies, oil industry companies, then the possibility of hydrogen becoming comparable or complementing electric vehicle would actually help. So for me, the technology is there. For some people, it's not there yet. If you live in winter areas, it sucks to be you. Not gonna lie on that. That's your problem, not my problem, because winter in Florida is awesome. Especially when I'm down in the southeast Florida near the Miami area. I don't see snow. I know snow has fallen in Florida, and that's to the north, and good for them. I don't need to see it. But for certain environments, it makes sense. Electric vehicles generally make sense. In other environments, if you're able to work around it and get over the hurdles, then the cost savings to you itself is awesome. I also have solar panels on my roof, so energy efficiency in my house is a thing for me. And with that energy efficiency, I've also helped to reduce my electricity bill. So with my cars plus my solar system, my energy footprint has significantly dropped. The cost that I've spent in order to accomplish this is very high. But for me, I see the benefit. And if you don't see the benefit in it, don't do it. If you see the benefit in it, good for you. All right? But the reality of it is that I, as an electric vehicle owner, I'm happy with it. And I am going to now show basically the rest of Florida or the southeast region of Florida that electric vehicles are a viable option here. Right? The cost itself is your initial setup cost to charge at home might be high for some, And if you find the right electrician, he can he can put it at a reasonable price, but it's not too bad. So yeah, Teslas are awesome. Every other manufacturer, they're going to play catch up. But if you don't like a Tesla, don't buy a Tesla. There are other manufacturers that produce comparable vehicles. Well, I'm not going to lie, they're not comparable, but they're vehicles that will meet your needs. And if you like them, buy them. If you don't like it, don't buy it. All right? But for me as an owner, and I think I'm rambling on now, but yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, I'll probably do some follow-up videos to basically show what the infrastructure itself is like here, and drive around and take a look at some of the charging stations that are here, and basically give you a run through of how to use those charging stations, because it's not rocket science. And I will definitely have to go through where some cars are good as daily commuter with some slow charging, but if the time bothers you, then there are certain cars that can, like the Tesla, can charge at a faster rate and let you spend less time at a charging station. And honestly, the amount of time that you're spending at a charging station, just call it rest, relaxation. It literally takes you out of the rat race to be everywhere at every single second counts. If you're that type of person, honestly, I will tell you point blank, here in Florida, many people are like that. Don't buy the car. It's not for you. Stick to the gasoline car and live your life and enjoy it. Right? So that's my rant. Yeah, okay, that was stupid, but yeah, that's my rant. I don't know. It's just, for me as an owner, it has been awesome, and I'm now tired of all the negative media that's around, and I figured it was now time to lend my voice to the positives of electric vehicles.